say for the camera your name and what you're reading.
Okay.
And then when you're ready, we'll just jump right into it.
All right. My name is Jeffrey Robert, and I'm reading Dobbs, Barbara, number 2. Yeah, who is it?
Philip, do you know what today is?
Oh, Barbara, it's you. How are you this lovely morning?
For your information, it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you didn't answer my question.
I don't know, Barbara. Saturday, 22nd?
Yes, you are exactly correct. It is Saturday the 22nd, which makes it precisely 12 days since this month's child support check was supposed to be due in my mailbox.
Jeez. Look, Barbara, I'm so sorry. I'll get it in the mail first thing Monday.
I don't care about the check, Phil, and you don't even make enough for it to be of any real help anyway, but this is your son we're talking about. Don't you care enough to make this small difference in Will's life? You hardly make it by to see him and he asks about you. I wish you didn't, but he does.
I know. I'm so sorry. Tell him...
Are you hungover? Unbelievable, simply unbelievable. It doesn't seem to matter when I call you. You're either drunk in the process of getting there or hungover. You have got to pull yourself together, Phil. What am I supposed to tell your son? That his father is a drunk who can't find the energy to roll himself out of his stupor long enough to even acknowledge his existence?
Barbara.
No, no. I'm sorry, I cannot talk to you right now. We'll have to talk about this later.
Very good. All right, whenever you are ready.
All right. I'm doing price, right? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Jeffrey Robert, Price Novak, number 6. Morning, Joe. Thank you, my good man. You, sir, are a gentleman and a scholar.
You're welcome. So what have we got?
Not a lot, I'm afraid. Vic's name is Rachel Taylor. 27 years old, white, obviously. Lives 2 streets down. She was shot 3 times in the face last night. Coroner estimates it was around 2:30. It was done execution style, though there are no signs of struggle on her body. Near as we can tell without a test, she wasn't raped. And the bullet was a 9mm. Pretty standard, no casing recovered. There's a small trail of blood, which appears to be hers, going from her house to the body. Neighbor called it in early this morning. Backed his car out, nearly ran over the body before he noticed a pool of blood on the side mirror. My initial thought is gang-related.
Gang-related? Really? This is hardly their MO.
Oh, yeah, I know, but this neighborhood? It seems almost too obvious.
This feels more like something professional or something. Anybody here see anything last night?
Actually, I had yet to get to that part. Figured you want to go with, to canvass the neighbors?
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely want to do that. Someone must have heard or saw something. It was the middle of the street.
Yeah, sure thing, Joe. Well, let's get to that. You want to take lead?
All right. That's good.
I'm done.
Gang-related? Really? This is hardly their MO.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I know, but this neighborhood? Seems almost too obvious.
This feels more like something professional or something. Anybody here see anything last night?
Actually, I had yet to get to that part. Figured you want to go with, to canvass the neighbors?
Yeah, we'll definitely want to do that. Someone must have heard or seen something. It was in the middle of the street.
Yeah, sure thing, Joe. Well, let's get to that. You want to take lead?
Okay. Yeah, good. Just go ahead and say your name and what you're reading. Go ahead and say I'm reading Solanovic and Andrea.
Okay.
And then we'll just jump right into it.
Sure. Am I reading to you or to the camera? Who's reading with me?
I'm reading,
Okay, great.
but it doesn't. Me to the camera doesn't matter. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Okay.
My name is Scarlett Martin, and I'm reading Sladonovic and Andrea. Is it done then?
All taken care of. Yeah, that birdie ain't gonna sing no more. Yeah, see?
Okay, sometimes I wish you would take a more professional approach to your work.
Come on, what's the problem? The situation's been handled, right? We've been doing this together long enough. Do you doubt my thoroughness or my ability to handle my men?
No, I do not. It is merely your flappant proclivity and the severity of the repercussions which failure would bring. That is what causes my alarm. Detective Price, do not get me wrong. I have full faith in your abilities. So is it completely handled?
Yeah. I put my best guy on it. He's not got the best people skills, but when it comes to these kinds of things, he's second to none.
Good. Who's handling the investigation? Is it someone we can trust?
Well, I sure hope so. We're in big trouble.
I see. Is there anything else?
Yeah, actually there is. One of the dealers we use for,
Oh, sorry. Please, I do not wish to know any of the details of the dealings.
Very well. One of the guys we used, a third party, got picked up a few weeks ago. He had a pretty large amount of product. Anyway, there's a hearing set for next month.
I understand. Leave the file. I will take care of it. Your third party will find the charges dropped. Oh, detective?
Yeah.
Please stay away from my receptionist. Things are so terribly awkward after the last one.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, once again, just whenever you're ready, just go ahead and
Okay.
go jump into it.
Philip Dobbs. What can I get you, stranger?
Something cheap.
And your friend here?
Andrea, this is Tommy Andrea McCall. I would just like some water, thank you.
And so polite.
Thank you. She is one of the finest ballistics experts our police department has ever seen.
Yeah. Well, that was a long time ago. I just did my job.
Oh, please, spare me the false modesty. Tommy, Miss McCall personally saved my bacon at least a dozen times when I thought I'd reached the end of the lead. Why, I remember one time she took what everyone else on the case thought were two sets of bullet fragments and realized that the shot had separated. You see, when the shooter fired, this is great, you're going to love this, the bullet hit the back edge of the victim's folded Swiss Army knife in his pocket, split in half, and lodged into two adjoining walls. This brilliant lady not only figured out what happened, but she also managed to get the two pieces back together well enough for us paper pushers to get a conviction. That is impressive, Miss Andrea.
Phil is exaggerating a little bit. Once we knew what happened, everything else kind of fell into place. Lyle was the one who figured out the metal fragment on the knife matched the other piece of the bullet.
Well, don't sell yourself short.
Well, that certainly is a tale. So, why are you telling me all of this?
What do you remember about Jenny Herbert?
Jenny Herbert? Our Jenny Herbert?
I remember she was Sladonovic's assistant back when she was an assistant DA. I know you weren't real close, but you knew her better than I did.
Barely.
But do you remember anything that stood out to you, anything odd?
Well, she was one of Price's floozies, briefly. I'm trying to remember the order of things. Well, right after Daniel Shepard died, and you left, Slanovic took over as DA. Maybe a month later, I think. Yeah, just a few weeks later, she quit. I don't think I've ever heard anything about her or from her again. She kind of dropped off the face of the earth after that, if I recall. Yeah, you know what I remember something about. What was it on? Do you remember Janine that worked in my office?
Vaguely.
Well, those two of them were kind of buddies. Used to go out drinking sometimes. Right about the time she left, Janine was asking if I knew something about her. She said she'd stopped returning her calls or something. Jenny always seemed kind of flaky to me, so I brushed it off. It wasn't too much longer before I left.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. You know, Andrea, it was really great catching up. It really was. Tommy and I probably better get going, though. What do I owe you for the drinks?
On the house, Phil. Tommy, it was so nice meeting you. Phil, you know, you ought to come again sometime. This was really nice. Believe it or not, the life of a bartender gets really lonely.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll see.
Tommy, you stick with this guy. He had quite the reputation. When he was still on the force. He did what they call you again, crocodile? Because once he latches on, he doesn't let them get away.
Croc. I always hated that.
Well, you two get going.
Yeah. Hey, do you mind if I use your phone real quick? I want to check in at the office.
Sure, go ahead. It's behind the bar at the end of over there.